All right, Kevin. Before we get into headphones and snow cones and like the business side of Umphrey's, you were the front of house engineer for the band for a long time, sound caresser as you called yourself. Your last show with the band, Brooklyn Bowl, 2011, I think. Do you miss the road, and why did you decide to leave the road, leave the engineer spot to go and do creative, more behind-the-scenes work?
Sure. I miss, there are elements of the road that I certainly do miss. I miss the amount of time that I get to spend with the guys. That was something that was always particularly inspiring and motivating. So the day in, day out on that front, that's probably the single biggest thing that I miss. I love the engineering. I loved every moment when I was out here. I loved that, but I love what I'm doing now. Ultimately, the decision came because we had so many things going on and so many irons in the fire that we had a lot of ideas and a lot of things that weren't being realized because we didn't have the bandwidth to execute at home. So it came fairly obvious to me that it would be more beneficial for the band if I was home and hired somebody else to do the engineering and recording that I was doing on the road. That it was great timing for me as well. I've got a young daughter, and it's nice to be home some more. So that part is certainly great. But it was the right time. It was the right time for me personally. It was the right time for the band professionally. So that was the catalyst.
It's the 15th anniversary of the band. Did you ever imagine 15 years back in South Bend that you would be here presently, still jamming, still playing big venues, sold out the Beacon Theater this year, large crowd at the Fox Theater last night? Did you ever imagine that 15 years ago?
I can tell you most assuredly I did not. Honestly, at the outset, we were all doing this for fun. It was something to do on the weekends at Notre Dame. Figured instead of going to the bar to drink beer, we might as well go to the bar and have somebody buy us beer. And it was really just for our own entertainment for quite a few years before we got serious about it and tried to make a real profession out of it.
This is the second night of the trial run for Headphones and Snowcones. First, what is it? What is this idea? How did it come about, and any reaction from the fans from Oakland in the first night?
In about 2004, I remember turning around, I put a pair of headphones on a guest that was at front of house while I was mixing. And I watched those person's eyes light up and that face make an expression that really was very memorable to me. And it made me realize that what a special thing that it really was. And most people don't ever get to hear a live concert that way. And at that moment, it kind of the seed was planted. And over the course of years after that, I would put the headphones on more and more people at front of house just to give them a taste. And almost without fail, everybody was marveled, just enamored at the quality and the clarity and the nuance that you're able to hear when you take out a lot of the reverberation and acoustics of a room. So that was really the catalyst, and it took a long time to figure out, is this feasible? How would it work? What's the technology going to be? And this was one of those things that I wouldn't have had the ability to do had I still been on the road. It was one of these things that needed a little time to incubate but essentially what the premise of it is that the fan can, for the night, get an in-ear monitor pack, which is the same pack that the band uses on stage to hear their own mix to perform, and a pair of headphones, and hear essentially the highest quality mix possible, which is the soundboard mixed with a little bit of audience. It's basically the Live recording that we record and release every night, and it's hearing that live in the moment as it happens. And last night was our debut in Oakland, and we had a corral full of people that were absolutely enamored. At the outset, there was a little bit of trepidation, like, this is interesting, I have no idea what to expect. And a couple songs in, people were ear to ear grinning, getting down, dancing, and the things that we heard most frequently were the things that have always resonated with me from the beginning is, wow, the clarity, wow, the precision, wow, I'm able to hear the ghost notes of the snare and the little nuances of Jake's picking, and these things that are often easy to miss in a live room.
Yeah, in some places I've seen Umphrey's Eagles Ballroom or Congress Theater.
Some amazing sounding rooms,
yeah, exactly. Right? Those places may be tough. So how can a fan in that type of venue really, how important is it to hear that like flat sort of reporting?
You know, every night will be a little different inside of those headphones because even a place like Eagles Ballroom, the stage is very reverberant. So even the recording is a bit more reverberant, but you're hearing so much natural reflection off of these huge boomy ceilings, and there's not a lot of sound conditioning in those rooms. So there's all this echo and all this sort of these acoustic imperfections that, frankly, are pretty annoying. And while it does add a sense of place, a lot of times it masks the fidelity. And so to give people the option of having something where you take out a lot of those variables is something that I think a lot of concert goers would be hip to were they to have the experience.
Every Umphrey's fan is on the board trying to talk to people who went to the show last night or maybe going to tonight's show, finding out
what are they saying?
Yeah, what they want to know. They want to know what's going on. These are the first 2 trial runs out west. What's next with this idea? Do you have more planned for Southeast or the Midwest in the near future?
Certainly looking at the calendar as a whole, trying to figure out what's next. After these 2 nights, we'll sit down and really take a hard look at what worked, what didn't work, what we can improve on, just the process from soup to nuts. And then we'll start to figure out that there will certainly be some more events, maybe as early as next week, but it's sort of the big picture here. How do we grow it to a level that is the right thing? There's a lot of unanswered questions, but this is one of the many things in the Umphrey's arsenal, which is it starts as an idea, you build upon it, and you evolve it, and you change it, and you do what works best for the band and for the fans. So this is something that I think you're seeing just at its inception here. This is right at the beginning.
You guys have come up with various unique ideas over the last few years, whether it's S2 or or the mashups, recently Summer School last year. Why do you feel it's important to bring fans a one-of-a-kind concert experience that no other band is offering? Mainstream, jam, or indie, no other band's offering their fans such a unique opportunity.
I suppose it's twofold. One is personal in that I get bored and the band gets bored with the status quo, with what's been done. There's a lot of things that, hey, we know this works. We know we can just go put on a show, sell tickets, you go play the set list, people go home, we go do it in the next town. And it works for a lot of bands. But, for us, it starts musically, where the guys are never satisfied with, hey, let's just run through the versions, let's just phone it in. It's every night is a new animal. Hey, it's going to be somebody's first show. It's going to be somebody's first time seeing Umphrey's. What can we do to really step up our game and continue to make forward progress and not rest on the laurels, if you will? And so it starts there, but that's the philosophy as a whole with the whole business. And things like this, things like the S2, things like the Umphrey, things like the Mantis pre-order campaign, and Headphones and Snowscones is the natural evolution of that. What's next? What else can we do? What can we do to push the boundaries? It's fun for us, and it's fun for the fans. We want to continue to provide experiences that enrich the experience of the music fan. And is everything we do for everybody? No, but it's fun to push the boundaries, and for us, at the end of the day, following is boring. So,
what's next for the band? How will Umphrey's Mcgee try to seek more creativity, whether it's unique concerts or more videos? I mean, the business side, it's a whole different animal compared to 20, 30 years ago, where you can't depend on album sales. It's really going back to the roots of rock and roll and going out and playing the shows city after city after city. What can you do, like you said, to push the envelope even further?
Well, it's going to be continuing to look at we brainstorm all the time. Everything's always in motion, and we're going to continue to look at a long list of ideas and figure out what we think is, what of these things are the right things to try to roll out next. And there's a ton of irons in the fire. Working on a lot of new stuff with the new Live site, and hope to have that out sooner than later. And I think that's going to be a really neat experience for fans in a different way, something that we've never offered, and actually I don't think any specific band has offered just with regards to their own catalog. So that's on the horizon. You're going to see lots more of the Couch Tour webcast. That's something that fans clearly want, and we want to be able to deliver. We're out here on the West Coast. We know that a lot of people can't be out here. The Midwest, East Coast, Southeast, and we want to continue to be able to give those people a great value at an affordable price. So you're going to see more video. You're going to see more regular DVD and Blu-ray and download releases, and you're going to more stuff like Headphones and Snowscones, and onward and upward. Yeah, thank you.